Okay, so the topic is puppy blues, which really was me just wanting to talk about what I find a lot of puppy owners bring up in those first few classes, which probably hasn't hit you yet, but it's that mismatch, I suppose, between the expectations you may have and often how the reality unfolds. Not to say that we don't all go into it with our eyes open, but sometimes, like with children, you don't get what you're expecting. And sometimes you also get issues, I think, if you're the main carer for the puppy, but it was like the kids or your partner who pressured you into it, and then you're doing 90% of the work. And I think you get those tinged feelings of regret coupled with the exhaustion, which you may not get because your pup may sleep delightfully all the way through. But generally, people get 3 or 4 weeks in and they're like, this is shocking. Why are we doing this? So I think it's the exhaustion and then the overwhelm when your pup goes from cute and fluffy and adorable into kind of mouthing and humping and kind of willfully destroying the furniture. And it can feel like it's going downhill, and it's not. I think the thing is to know that it happens to everyone, and that period of feeling slightly despairing is fairly short-lived. So what I just encourage everyone to do is to be open and talk about it, because the other thing is when you've bought a puppy rather than rehomed a rescue dog, I think there's a feeling of shame when you actually think, I might have to take it back. Do you know what I mean? Because you've actually gone out and done it on purpose. Whereas I do think if you've rehomed a dog with issues, you automatically feel like you've got a get out of jail free card because you didn't mess the dog up, someone else did. When it's your puppy, it literally is your own fault. So you're like, what have I done? This is really awful. And you end up feeling a little bit powerless. So that's puppy blues for you. And I have Annie, who is now 11 months. And I think I am out the other side of it, but she definitely took my breath away, not what I was expecting at all. But I got her at nearly 14 weeks, having had no human contact at all. So she was utterly feral, and it's taken time for me to feel like we are bonded. So that's an idea of what puppy blues is. And what you can do is, like, no, you're not alone. Everyone's going through some questioning of what's going on at home, and it is short-lived. I think with all of my dogs, I take quite a long time to bond. But by the time they turn a year, I'm utterly invested, and it sort of creeps up on you. With Lawrence the Labrador, he was a bit of a handful until he was 2 or 3. And I used to playfully suggest I might send him back to the breeder. But once he was past a year, I was utterly committed. So things you can do for yourself is get good help and advice. So it is good to have a network of people who've got puppies. So puppy training is good because it puts you in contact with other people, getting on Facebook, going on breed groups, that's all really useful stuff. But it can sometimes leave you utterly overwhelmed because you have 10 people advise you to do different things, and you keep trying stuff and everything you try seems to make it worse. So build a network of support, but get good quality help, which you're going to get because you've enrolled in puppy training. And with the puppy training, I'll always say only for the first 12-week course, any issues at all, you ask me before a lesson, you ask me after the lesson, or you just phone me. I would much rather help you with the issue before it's escalated. And sometimes I might say, I'm sorry, you need to book a home visit because that is outside the scope, but I'd still rather have that conversation. And then in terms of how you actually manage your day-to-day life, the two things I would do, and I'm sure you're doing, are prioritizing positive crate training and get your pup into a routine, just like having a baby. You want a schedule, and you want your pup to know that when they're in their crate, it's off time. They're not invited to play, they're not on duty. So for those first few days, you just want to spend ages drip feeding food in the crate. So every time puppy comes out, a piece of food appears and they run back in happily, play fetch in and out of the crate. If you've got Kongs and things to feed puppy from, they always appear in the crate. So the crate is like magic. Whenever you go in there, there's something new and amazing, and it's never ever a prison for your pup. So a routine and positive crate training will rapidly give you time where you're not being run ragged by something that's trying to bite your feet or bite your kids or rip your clothes. So they're your backbone things. And then building a bond. Most trainers talk about hand feeding as a great way of building a bond with your puppy, and it's true. But from the human perspective, the best outcome for your puppy is if you are bonded with your puppy. And the best way to facilitate your bonding is lots of contact. So stroking, massaging. So actually spending the time handling your puppy for those first few weeks. It will make everything easier, because once you form that bond, you will tune into your puppy better. You will, rather than having that kind of loggerheads energy, you will kind of both be going in the journey together. So it does change things. So lots of hand feeding, but lots of touching, lots of stroking, lots of cuddles, albeit you do want them to fall asleep in the crate and not get surgically attached to your leg, so that you're sort of setting them up for separation anxiety. So bonding, routine, and crate training are the main sort of things you can try and do. And then moving forward, don't be afraid to advocate for your dog. If you turn up to doggy daycare and you think, this doesn't look right, don't let anyone pressure you. If you go to the vets and they say, we want to take your puppy out the back, and your puppy looks at you like, no, I'm going to die. It's okay to say, I think my puppy's scared. So don't let other people force their views on you. You are everything to your puppy. So don't be afraid to stand up for them and celebrate every single small win, because there are so many times that you can celebrate and put them on a wall chart, or just put them out on Facebook. The first time they sleep through the night, the first time they go for a walk without pulling on the lead, the first poo outside the house, woohoo, the first poo on a walk. They're all successes, and it takes a year of a bit of investment to get a dog who will be a delight for a cockapoo for the next 12, 14 years. So well worth putting the time and energy in. So any questions, anything you'd like to ask, anything that's come up already?
Well, so it's only been 24 hours, so I'm still in the honeymoon period at the moment. I'm sure it's going to get harder. I thought she was going to come and join us, but she's just turned over and gone back to sleep again.
Yeah. So I think the first few days it's about trust, isn't it? And connection, and just not leaving them to be distressed. But then gradually you have to find a way to meet your own needs.
Yeah, I did do cold turkey last night. So when she cried in the night, I didn't come down to her.
Yeah, so it depends how much and for how long.
She was only about 20 minutes or so, and then she calmed herself and went to sleep again. So
right, as long as it didn't sound too shocking.
No, it just a little bit sad. I think she was just, I don't
Yeah,
know.
probably because they're young mammals, they've just been separated
Mm,
from the rest of their litter. Well, hopefully tonight
yeah,
will be better. Annie, the border collie, took
yeah.
me about a month. She would shred any item of soft furnishing. And I know the theory
Oh
is
gosh.
stop giving them bedding and they'll
Mm.
stop shredding. But I was like, no, my baby has to have bedding. But then they do stop shredding. So we
Yeah.
did. Yeah. Well, good luck then in your
Thank you.
mission over the next few days and weeks. And I will see
Mhm.
you in about 3 weeks' time.
17th of September.
Oh,
So a bit longer than that.
bit longer than that. Oh, well, if anything comes up between now and then, you let me know.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye.